I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye, we came to build, not pay your bill. Slang them in municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, cause we don't be lying, shaking hands and taking oaths with demons. Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening? And then time 10. I know. I said 4:30. Then I said 6:30. Then I said 8:05. I said 8:05. What time it be? What time it is? None of that don't even matter. You know what I'm talking about? Let's talk about what we said we was going to talk about last week momentarily, because y'all know what it is. It's all about Saturn's days over here, or Sundays, because it is what it is. You know, in this current time, this current climate, you know, our people are still like, I don't know, I don't even want to call it sleep, or, you know what I'm talking about? Because for sure, you know, when we are participating in our own demise, we aren't asleep at that time. So you know, we say unconscious, and you know, your awareness, you're lacking awareness of the current climate, I guess. I don't know, you know what I'm talking about? But for sure, we know for the most part, people aren't even aware of the fact that, what is it, 97? I think they said 97. We'll look at it, even because that ain't what we're trying to talk about right now. We trying to talk about the strangers, the invaders, the foreign terrorists and criminal colonists and their doctrine for a minute. Just, I should have labeled this a prelude or something like that. But what they say, it's been 97 food manufacturing plants. Well, I call them plantations too, you know what I'm talking about? But 97 food manufacturing factories have been burned to the ground. And let me see, 97 within the past, is it a year? I think it's a year. I don't think it's 2 years. I want to say since January of 2021 up until, you know, Julius the 14th of 2022, this 2022 Gregorian calendar, I'm talking about. But you know, Julius Caesar's, it's not Julius Caesar, it's fucking June. I'm looking. Come on. This is why I be asking for help in the comments, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, it's not, we haven't got to the Julius Caesar month yet. My bad. I don't care. They all the same. We're dealing with the same shit that our ancestors was dealing with. You know what I'm talking about? It's just, you know, due to their access to various forms of technology, you know, they attract, you know what I mean? Like, it's like what you call that fly trap, that sticky shit. They attract the brothers and sisters nowadays. In this current time, you know what I'm saying? Like things look good to you, you know. Um, what 401ks or I don't know, you know what I'm talking about? Shit just look good when actually, you know, you put your money in your or your labor into somebody else's pockets the same way you put your labor, excuse me, into other franchises and companies that, you know, today they may be called Bank of America, but you know what was Bank of America called 100 years ago and 200 years ago and so on and so forth. Understand? It just is what it is. What they say, it is what it is. I've been listening to Judge Joe Brown say that shit. It is what it is. You know, and to be honest, I really don't like that statement. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is because, you know what I mean? The energy isn't being directed into any remedies. You know what I'm talking about? Recourse, remedy, restitution, compensation, that type of shit. Because a lot of the issues that our people complain about stem from poverty. You know what I'm talking about? Poverty will cause people to behave and you know what I'm talking about? It ain't famine, but it's poverty. You know, and who are they to point at us in actions within broken communities or neighborhoods or ghettos or projects that, you know, they created. Okay, now when let's look, and you know who they and them is, and again in a minute I'll begin to use colorful terms, you know what I'm talking about. But again, now when they were in the position of famine and poverty, they committed the most atrocious, diabolical crimes, right? They were practicing cannibalism. They would dig up the grave of their daughters and wives and brothers or whoever it was, and you just buried them 2 days ago. Now you're gonna dig them up and eat them. And this ain't ancient times. I'm not talking about biblical stuff, because I know y'all gonna bring that out. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about right here in what we call North America. Again, and y'all, those who tune in, y'all know I talk about this shit all the time. And I give you reference points. You understand? Again, I'm not talking about in biblical times. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 1500s, 1600s. Again, these people who you deem to be oh so powerful did not have the science of how to purify water and preserve fucking food. So they were starving to death. Understand? So let's come back to 2022 and the petty to the most violent crimes that happen in populated areas. And I don't care if it's melanated people or not, but in populated areas where people live at, below, and barely above the fucking poverty line, you're gonna have crime. Actual crimes where there are actual injured fucking parties. I'm not talking about this shit, these millions of statutes and codes and shit that they've been putting on the books since they became a legitimate. Not, it can't be legitimate. That's my problem and our fucking problem. We look at them as being a legitimate government or legitimate and lawful organization, corporation, when they're merely just a fucking wealthy criminal cartel. You understand? So if we could just go back to when, you know, Puritans and Pilgrims were Puritans and Pilgrims, you know what I'm talking about? And criminals, you know what I'm talking about? Franks. Y'all call them French. I'll be saying Frank. Frank and them. You know, they sent out the ones. We know the story of the missionaries and the mercenaries, but that's not what I'm talking about right here. You send your best dressed with what little tangibles you have to try to appease or appeal to the indigenous people that you're going to be interacting with, right? Because trade is trade. It wasn't a piece of paper back then like this. You know what I'm talking about? You could not pull these out and exchange um an area of land in which you are going to be allowed to do business. You understand? What y'all call, what we call that? Colonists, conquistadors, all of this and all of that. So let's get to it. You know, again, this is gonna be short. Don't, you know what I'm talking about? But we got some help. What you laughing at? Peace, D Calico. What you laughing at, bro? Don't be laughing at me. I'll be asking for help. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said help me out in the comments with your wise don't. Put it on. Put it in the wisdom. So let's go back. And I'm a star here, even though I shouldn't star here, but I am. So let's get rid of me for 1 second, y'all. And let me see what had happened over here. What had happened? I'll give you one. What comment am I looking at? Peace and love. Peace, God. What it do? Brother J. Ill in this piece. Not talking about. So let me see what had happened. See, it's been multiple times, and even if you look at the previous bill, we talk about. See, I like to get at you like Bobby Ill right quick, and I'll tell you that the Christian Black codes and Jim Crow, you know, in combination, it was nothing, no more than all the same shit, right? Same shit, just not even alterations or amendments being made to them, but just additional, what do you want to call it? Look, if I'm telling you that on an annual basis, these people make up over 100,000 statutes, codes. Y'all call them laws. Let's just say fuck it. I see. I don't want to you. I'm trying to get y'all to change your language. That's why when the last time you heard me use the word arrest or somebody was arrested? No, you just got kidnapped. Period. I don't want to hear shit about an arrest unless a fucking murder took place. Like the cop up in Grand Rapids. What's his name? I can't even remember his fucking name. Cause over a month ago, you know what I'm talking about, when the shit initially happened, and the press was saying that they couldn't release his name. We released his name right the fuck here. Over here. So right, his name ain't even important. There's no importance to that cretin's name at all. Period. That was a murder. That was a fucking crime that was committed because a fatality occurred. It wasn't just an injured party. He murdered some fucking body. I don't even want to get off into that. Let's go where we at. You know what I'm talking about? Let's, peace be upon him. Let's go back to Bobby Ill. Bobby Ill would tell you that the Christian Black codes and Jim Crow and city ordinance was all the same shit. So city ordinance, how the fuck is city ordinance the same thing as Jim Crow, and how is Jim Crow the same thing as the Christian Black codes? Well, it don't take a genius to figure it out when you look at the Vagrancy Act of 1866, right? You see this right here? Do I need to zoom it? Right here. Do I, what I said, highlight it or something? I be talking about vagrancy laws, and I talk about how they would kidnap our ancestors and charge them with these various vagrancy laws like trespassing, or you're homeless, or you don't have a job. Therefore, you're going to have 10 years in jail and a $10,000 fine, or a $10,000 fine. No. Definitely the jail. So let's go back. 10 years in jail and or a $10,000 fine in fucking 1866, 1867. Not to say that there weren't any of our ancestors around who had that type of and this is the thing, I almost said fiat. In a time where fiat currency, I can't say it didn't exist, because it did. You understand? But If you was out here with some fiat currency back then, it could get you murdered. And right now, this is how the fuck we function, off of a fiat currency, a base monetary system, right? Now, money and fiat shouldn't even be in the same sentence, right? I'm saying it. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. That's why I said, yeah, just let me know. Again, vagrancy. The Vagrancy Act of 1866, passed by the General Assembly on January 15th, 1866, forced into employment for a term of up to 3 months any person who appeared to be unemployed or homeless. See how they put this little fuck shit up there? This for a term, forced into employment for a term of up to 3 months. Lies, because again, if you was trespassing, you can get 10 years and or a $10,000 fine. For trespassing, for being homeless, you can get 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. For being homeless, the same thing. For being unemployed, the same thing. So again, when you see these various signs, even a fucking stop sign, in our psyche, in our DNA, being that we know that the first fucking sign that was ever assembled and put up in order to I guess I don't want to say force you into a contract, because again, we know what about these adhesions along with these excise taxes, right? But if the remedy is to no longer do business with these people, because again, the state of Virginia, am I reading from some shit? Well, right here is some the Encyclopedia of Virginia, vagrancy laws, 18 people who move from place to place without regular homes or work. You understand? So I had a more detailed definition, but again, the Southern Black codes. And I hate when they throw that Southern shit in there as if this shit wasn't popping off in the northern portion of what they're calling North America. Even if you want to include what they call Canada with the Franks. Boom, boom. Some other shit I know we done did this 1,000 times. The history of slave patrols, black codes, and vagrancy laws. So if you want a reference point, here you go right here. I'm not about to go through all of this because we've done that already. All right. What I want us to pay attention to is, again, they came here to do business, you understand, and to gain wealth and freedom. You understand? Because they was up under the same shit that they got us up under now, right? And they still are. You understand? But they are in control of the resources and the fucking wealth. You understand? Now I'm gonna show you something right quick. Where we at? Right here. Right here. So you hear about reparations basically being paid off to the former slave owners, right? After the Emancipation Proclamation and after the Civil War or whatnot, right? That's what they said they did. So let's look at it. April 16th, 1862. President Lincoln signed the District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act. This law prohibited slavery in the district, forcing its 900 odd slaveholders to free their slaves, with the federal government paying slave owners an average of about $300, equivalent to $8,000 in 2021 for each. What? That's what it said. Right here. There was a time reparations were actually paid out. It gave former slave owners, because again, as a ward of the state, as a POW, name the different statuses. As a straw, you know what I'm talking about? That's property, which is business talk, right? You know, we gonna talk about real estate. Real estate. Fee simple estate. Nah, that ain't what they talking about. At all. Not at all. So do we think vagrancy laws were abolished and terminated? Tell me when the Christian Black codes was abolished and terminated. Give me a date. I wants to know what year and what legislation was put into place that eliminated the Christian black codes, right? Show it to me. So how did Sensei Chief Maku Bobby L put that together? That Christian black codes of 1724 being aligned with Jim Crow, being aligned with city ordinance, because that's what he said. And for me, just in my mind, without me even looking at any type of document, without me, making a trip to the Wayne State Law Library, I'm talking about city, the word city. What is the origins of the word city? What's the etymon? What the etymon at? All right. An ordinance. City ordinance. Ordained ordinance. We start talking about ordained and ordinance. We already said Christian black codes. Hello. So where is that? Doctrine of Discovery. There's a, they got the various pappy bulls that they pappy, they pope, they pappy. Are they saying that city ordinance is ordained by they pappy? Because he ain't none of my pappy. I don't give a fuck which one you're talking about. Ain't none of our pappy. So just imagine, let's just say you wholeheartedly have faith and believe in this government as being on your team, right? So you would have to accept or bow to. You would have to bow to. That's better. That's yeah. You would have to bow to the one who ordained this corporate entity, this cartel, this corporation, this establishment that was incorporated and founded. You know what I'm talking about? With a Magna Charter. We be talking about that Constitution, but what about that Magna Carta? Y'all think you think that shit disappeared and went away? You think because they be ignoring your declarations of nationality and your declarations of sovereignty and your proclamations and your affidavit of facts, you absolutely believe that on the 4th of July, in celebration of their declaration of independence, that document was accepted? Latin Citadel, forfeiture area. My bad. I'm so used to saying that. My bad. A citadel is the core fortified area of a town or city. It may be a castle, fortress, or fortified center. The term is diminutive of city. Is a diminutive. My bad. Y'all have to excuse me. I went to Cody, and I went to Frank Cody High School, and I went to Persian. You know what I'm talking about? But I started off at Port Charlotte High School. In Charlotte High School. What is you laughing at? I be messing words up. That's why I be asking for help and shit. Again, city. Let's see. Sit up for the fortress. See, Dizzle. You got to go back a little bit further than that on that city shit. You got to go back a little bit further because that's Roman. God damn it. It's Roman. The city or ethnic group or however. Pakistan. Well, you went back too far now, goddamn it. These people ain't that goddamn old. Now you went back way too goddamn far. Talking about an ethnic group inhabiting India and Pakistan. Again, I just was talking about Pakistan the other day. You know what I'm talking about? When y'all start talking about Arabs and Islam and Muslims or whatnot, y'all get to thinking about Iraq and Saudi Arabia and all of this and that. No, Pakistan, goddammit. Pakistan. They got the largest population. You know, where they had, when I, let's see, 2005. That's the last time I looked at that shit. In 2005, they had the largest population, you know what I'm saying, of Islamic peoples. You know what I'm saying? Which Pakistan, you think of Pakistan, you think about India or Hindustan for you scholars. You know what I'm talking about? So again, doctrine of discovery and city and ordinance and ordained by the church and all of that again. Let's back up. I did the vagrancy. So boom, the doctrine of discovery established a spiritual, political, and legal justification for colonization and the seizure of land not inhabited by Christians. So again, we call them Cretans, and you know what I'm talking about? Y'all feel like that's some type of derogatory term or something like that. No, that's what they fucking call it. It didn't say establish a spiritual, political, legal justification for colonization and seizure of land not inhabited by whites. It said in seizure of land not inhabited by Christians. Again, it don't right here, my friends. Right here, it says seizure of land not inhabited. Where my mouse at? Not inhabited by Christians. Right here. So to get on or lay down, or we send out the missionaries first with the Bibles and shit. And when the ancestors, you know what I'm talking about? No habla inglés, no habla español, no habla Frank, no Perry, no none of that, no wee. Then here come the mercenary killers. The unleashing of the mercenary killers. And we are dealing with the descendants of the mercenary killers right now. Right now, today, right here. So boom. Again, I had this on already pulled up. But this is just a small portion. You know what I'm talking about? A small portion of these reparations that were paid out to the former slave owners, right? So again, when they made war, they wrote about that shit, right? You know what I'm talking about? Star Spangled Banner. They wrote about it. Where the whole team at? See, when the NFL players were taking a knee, to me, just having a seat, you know what I mean? Well, I ain't gonna even get off into that. But again, everybody, you should have never been singing this shit in the first place. Because this is a song, okay? This is a song or a poem. But no, it's, look here. If it's a poem, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 verses, right? Everybody is familiar with this first verse. But what about the rest of the verses? You know what I'm talking about? This dude wrote about murdering and the murders of our ancestors. I admit some people try to take it too far. Let me see. And where is that band who violently swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home in a country shall leave us no more? Their blood washed out their foul footsteps, pollution, no refuge to save the hireling and slave, from the terror of flight or gloom of the grave, right? And see right here, I know some people back in the day where it say, a home in a country shall leave us no more. Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps. So right here, when it says, shall leave us no more, right? People was trying to make this say, this a long time ago, y'all. People trying to make this into more, MOOR or MUUR or MAUR. You know what I'm talking about? Because right after he says that, it says, what it say right here? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution. Ain't that some shit? These the very people that came from the Black Plague and was practicing cannibalism, right, on their own people, right? But he talking about somebody foul footstep pollutions. Hmm. Very people that say they ass that shouldn't have saved them, especially the traitors who intentionally had ulterior motives as to why they were saving these pale people and giving them the science of how to purify water and preserve fucking food. These people who are actually throwing their babies out with the bathwater. It's not just a saying, y'all. These people was actually throwing their babies out with the bathwater. We showed that already. So where we at? Let me back it up a little bit before I dip on y'all. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see. I don't even think it's gonna let me go on there. So hola, hola, hola. Hola, hola, hola. Where we at? Boom. See, I was supposed to have this ready for y'all when I was reading that shit. But I didn't. Let me see. I don't even know if I want to go that way. But see, this the type of shit they be having inside of their homes and inside of their garages and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? Knowing damn well that when they take a look in their family tree, it's gonna be more indentured servants than a mud. With no problem. They have no problem finding them in their lineage. But our records are the ones that are shaky or non-existent. Right? When it comes to this slavery shit, right? They shit seem to be so well documented again when it comes to this slavery, indentured servant shit. But we have to go through all type of fuck records looking for our ancestors. See, the reason these people make up or have millions of so-called laws on the books and they record every fucking thing. You know what I'm talking about? This is making them trillions. Fuck millions, fuck billions, although we know that they are 30 trillion in the hole and they petrodollar is not saving them. It means nothing. Not when they hold a power to all the motherfucking resources. Why? It's not just because of the arsenal that they have far as military might and technology and weapons. See, y'all ain't seen, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what to tell you again. What they say, 97? What I say, 90? Let's verify this information right quick. Because I said 97 food manufacturing factories have been burnt to the ground since the year 2021, January 2021. So let's see if we can verify that right quick. Matter of fact, yeah, I don't know why I did all that. We can verify it right here, right now. Let me see. Let's go. That's a lot, y'all. Let's see. see if it come up. Let's see. So right here, what I'm seeing is 95. I was close enough, damn it. I said 97. So let me keep scrolling for y'all right quick. Okay, I'm now looking for a YouTube video. All right, they showing 20. So let's look at this 95 right quick. Where is that? Damn, now it's taking me to fucking Facebook, I think. I ain't trying to do all that. The 95 list doesn't prove there are ongoing plans to create food shortages. Okay, most of the incidents included in the 95 item list of agricultural incidents involving fires and destroyed poultry were not suspicious, according to authorities. More than 10 items were duplicates, factually incorrect, or did not appear to have happened at all. 50 incidents involved thousands of chickens or turkeys being killed because they were exposed to a highly contagious avian influenza. eh, Influenza, excuse me, y'all. More than 15 times on the list were fires that officials said weren't suspicious. Experts in fire research and avian influenza said the list legitimate incidents do not demonstrate that there is an ongoing effort to create food shortages. I don't know, y'all. That's a lot. That's a lot within a year. So it's, let's see, 50. So even if it was just 50, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot. That's suspicious. But again, chicken. Y'all need to be eating chicken anyway. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be eating chicken anyway. But eat what you like. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to tell y'all the shit about chicken. Because yeah, just I don't want nothing. So yeah, this is some YouTube stuff. I don't know. That's still spooky. That's a lot of stuff to be on fire. That's a lot of a lot of food. Again, nothing to see here. They full of shit. Some popping off. Who's lighting these fires? I'm going the wrong way. Let me see what happened. That's it. This the Obama thing. That's why you seeing these pictures. But I added some shit. I couldn't, y'all. My bad. Y'all is clowning. Did you see? Did you see this? Woo. I don't know. Look here. We already know. You know what I'm saying? They can say that it wasn't actually 95 fires, but where's the official count at? They're not providing a official count to how many food manufacturing or processing factories have gone down in flames within the past year. Now, if you want people to stop talking about this shit, then provide some actual numbers. You just can't step in and say, well, those numbers are wrong, and say, well, only 50 of those fires, according to the experts, the fire departments or whatnot, and the commissioners and shit, they say that those fires weren't suspicious. But 50 of them, even if it was 90, they say it ain't 95. Even if it was 90, that's still very suspicious in a time where they're saying, it's not enough baby formula, and it's titties everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know. I don't know. So what is this? Consolidated Appropriations Act 2022. Bam, and like I said, when I look over here, I'm seeing some YouTube shit, and I don't want to go to YouTube for no information. Period. But sure shit, there's no governmental there. You know what I'm talking about? I don't see them yaying or naying this shit. So I guess we supposed to ignore the fires. You know what I'm talking about? Arizona, Texas, California. We supposed to ignore that shit, right? Supposed to ignore the fact that, how many people eat deer or go hunting for deers and stuff like this and that. I bet you better not eat it. I bet if you go out there and you hunt a deer, you better not eat that motherfucker. If you didn't know, I'm telling you, you can't. Don't. You don't fuck around and die. Because the deers, you know what I'm talking about? A large percentage of the deers carry this virus. What they call that shit? I ain't talking about it in a few years or whatnot, but, you know, just Google the shit. Just Google the shit. Better not eat that deer. I'm just telling you. And Pete, the $5 Indian and his brother, right? Peep how they look alike. I'm talking about one already bald. I'm talking about. I'm just saying. My ancestors ain't signed no treaty with no goddamn body. Period. We fought and hid and fought some motherfucking more. You know what I'm talking about? We signed no treaty. I don't want to hear shit about no treaty. Sorry, y'all. Again, you cannot produce me a treaty that has the signature of any mother anywhere on it. So I don't want to hear shit about no treaty. Sorry, I love all y'all. Whether you a Moor, a Hebrew, or you what they call them abos, as if Moors. You know what I'm talking about? Wasn't dealing with that. The indigenous, aboriginal, autochthonous Americans. Again, I don't fuck with that. Ain't no treaties been signed over here by nobody. None of my ancestors gave these people permission to do commerce and trade on this land. Again, I love y'all. Know what I'm talking about? But none of my ancestors gave them permission to do commerce and trade on this fucking land. You understand? Period. You can pull out a treaty of 1866, peace to the God, to the chief, hidden eagle, and whoever else. I love all y'all. I love everybody, but my ancestors ain't signed shit with these people. You understand? You talking about the people who was feeding babies to alligators? You talking about them motherfucking people? Or you talking about they dignitaries? Make it special because you think your ancestors signed some treaties with their dignitaries? Any ancestor in my bloodline that signed anything with these people was a traitor. But then, how I'm goddamn just what's the word? Not contradicting. What's the word? And I'm not being disingenuous, but what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all help me out. The point being is, be it a driver's license, a marriage license, a W-2 or W-4 or 1040, whatever the fuck. Those are contracts that we deal with voluntarily. Our ancestors ain't had no goddamn, you know what I'm talking about? Was no voluntary nothing when they put their X on any goddamn thing. That eventually was the very reason that they lost, you know what I'm saying, a mass amount of fucking land to these criminals, these invaders, these foreigners. So where we at? I ain't trying to I just want to know. I want to know the actual numbers. I don't want to know. I don't want any speculation. That's what I'm trying to say. No speculation. None. We don't want to speculate. And we don't have to speculate because numbers don't lie. What y'all say? Men and women lie, but numbers no lie. No mentirosa. See? No mentirosa. And don't start speaking Spanish to my ass either. I ain't fluent like that. I know enough to know that if I had to flee North America, I ain't going east, I'm going south. Better chance of survival for me than for me to go east. To the east, my brother, to the east. Peace to the gods. Peace to the God, Brother Jay. You know what I'm talking about? I could and should say X-Clan. But me don't know. You know what I'm talking about? It's so much that's being said. You know, just let me enjoy the music is the best I can say in any case. Again, we must deal with these people. You dealing with these people as, you know, as if you're cool with them having power of attorney over your business affairs. So they treat you as such, you know, property. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing. You know, we have a preference to discuss remedy, and there's only in this situation, the first course of action has to be us no longer doing business with our enemies who have created a system, a systematic form of racism. All right. And not only that, this system that they created made them wealthy. So they are more than just reluctant. And wait a minute, it was something else. It was instant. I don't know. Fuck all that. Let me say what I'm saying. That reluctant ain't even a word. All right. To let my people go, so to speak. But again, if the chains aren't there physically, they're just there mentally. And once you come to the realization that these people are merely doing business by any means necessary. What Malcolm say? Peace to the God. Peace be upon them always. By any and by all means necessary. Peace to the God. Chris 1. KRS 1. Numero uno. Know what I'm talking about? That's all we got to do. All of they documents, all of they shit, let that shit go. Right? Now I'm saying that to you as a woman that had done it before. You know what I'm saying? Let all they shit go. Then some of us will say, let everything go that's not beneficial to you. Benefits. But again, once you accept they benefits, you know what happened. Your rights, you stripped of your rights and you were given privileges, which can be given and taken and modified, and give me some more words. They can do modifications and alterations and all of that to the shit. But not nowhere is they trying to abolish and eliminate and terminate a motherfucking thing that's making them money. It ain't even a fact. Once we realize that you are the money, Neo, Oracle, you are the money. Moracle, you the money. Again, you can take 50,000 of these right here, right? And I always say this, so what? I don't care. Take 50,000 of these and you take it to a baby that's playing with their Tonka truck or whatever they playing with, and you try to give these dirty pieces of paper to that child for that toy. That child don't want that motherfucking paper. That paper does nothing. Nothing. It's the reason we in the predicament we in now. Once this motherfucker did not say that you was able to redeem in gold or silver, did this it, you know what I'm talking about? As petrodollars. You understand? Do you know this? I'm gonna stop just saying shit and not explaining it. All right. For those of you who don't know what petrodollars is or what it means, this was the way that they cornered the oil market, right? What they did is they made everybody use Fed notes, fiat currency. I mean, everybody, other countries, other nations, other nation states. If they wanted to buy some oil from the Saudis, or you know what I'm talking about, they had to use these. If they were not using these, they cannot purchase it, right? So now when you're looking at Putin and Russia and all of that, that shit to fucking make sense. They got their own shit, right? The same way, I don't know, I said this some years ago after verifying the information that Venezuela at the time, some years ago, had the largest oil reserves on the planet, right? Not Iraq, not Saudi Arabia, not none of them camel jockeys. Know what I'm talking about? It was over in Venezuela, where peace be upon him. Hugo Chavez, who came over here, and y'all got mad because he called Bush the devil, but you didn't listen to what he said. Before he called Bush the devil, forget what he said. We're going to focus on what he did. Okay? Peace be upon the ancestor, because he was on our team. You know? If you didn't know, you about to find out right now, right? I think that was 2006 when the president of Venezuela visited the UN in New York, right? And he called Bush the devil. But before he said Bush was the devil, mind you, Bush just got finished speaking, okay? So this is why it even hit mainstream media that the president of Venezuela called him a devil. But what happened was Bush got off the mic, right? And when the president walked up, Prime Minister President, he says, I can still smell the sulfur. Again, he says, I can still smell the sulfur. Then he called Bush a devil. You know what I'm talking about? Now, what did he do that same day when he left the United Nations in New York? He went to the largest so-called black churches in New York and issued them millions of dollars in, not cash, it wasn't in cash, which I don't think I made this plain to y'all before, but it wasn't in cash. What he did is issue 100 million in, basically in oil. You know how some people, I'm in a D, so we get cold in the wintertime. We have various type of furnaces, right? You got your modern day gas furnace, you know, you got your ancient shit, your broiler type of furnace that run off water. You understand? And they have another system that runs off this oil or whatnot, right? I need some water. Oh, that's terrible. So this is what he was doing. He didn't just go to the church in New York. He also visited, I want to say, I don't know if it was one or two. This was in 2006 in Detroit. He found the biggest black church, or so-called black church, and he went there, and he just wasn't giving these millions of dollars out in oil or whatnot, right? What he was doing was he was kicking with the people. He was like, look, y'all and me is cousins. We're the same people. We are indigenous to the Americas, North, South, and Central. We've been here since ancient times together as relatives. That white motherfucker, we got to get him out of here. They need to go back home to Germany, France, England, Spain, Greece, monkeydom, king, whatever the fuck they come from, they need to go back home. You understand? They should no longer be allowed to do business, commerce, and trade on this land. You understand? This is what he was saying in 2006. And now he's not here. Not to mention the fact that Venezuela was petitioning to get their gold back. You know what I'm talking about? From the dirty crackers. And all of a sudden he passes. He's gone. Now, I'm not one of the people that's going to go as far as to say their current administration in Venezuela, their current sitting president, was put into place by the U.S. and all that. I don't do all of that shit. I'll let y'all have that shit. Because I don't know what the fuck they did. All I know is what that man came here, what he said, and what he did. From that point on, it was all Citgo gas stations for me. As far as me getting gas, Citgo, that's it. Because Venezuela, I'm not sure if they still own the Citgos, but I learned that as well from that situation. So, again, weekends is, weekend, last day of the week. I don't know what you call it. I can't call Sunday a weekend. My mind, my brain too clean to do such a thing. It's too clean. It's totally washed. Day of the sun supposed to be numero uno, right? So again, everybody know about the Doctrine of Discovery. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody know about the Christian Black Codes of 1724, or just simply the Christian Black Codes. Everybody hip to the vagrancy laws, which is no different than the Christian Black Codes of 1724, which is no different than city ordinance. All right? Star Spangled Banner. You're not supposed to be singing that shit, because go look up the whole goddamn song, the entire fucking poem, read all 4 fucking verses, and then you'll find out for yourself. You understand? We was never supposed to be singing that shit in the first fucking place, okay? Period. Again, we talk about reparations being paid to the former slave owners. And specifically, I highlighted the District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act. All right, which went into effect April 16th, 1862, right? But what year was it that Abraham Lincoln made the Emancipation Proclamation, that proclamation, right? And it's funny too, because back in the days, Moors was like, well, an Emancipation Proclamation ain't nothing but an announcement, right? But when it comes to our proclamations and our motherfucking declarations, some of you will say the same fucking thing. So I'm on everybody's ass. I don't care. Get mad. I love y'all. I don't care. You understand? Again, now I would take it better if you said that their proclamations and declarations don't mean shit to us. We're not the ones who have them in fucking bondage, right? So why would I give a fuck about their proclamations and their declarations of independence? But when it comes to my brothers and sisters who are utilizing every available weapon in order to free themselves and regain their sovereignty and regain their land and regain their culture and customs, when they say, this is my declaration, or this is my proclamation, or this is my affidavit of fact, you know what I'm talking about? I'm with that shit. I'm with that shit. Whole hour that went past. So what else had happened? They're in denial concerning the food manufacturing places being burnt to the ground. But again, they're not giving us an exact number on it. So forget all that. Like I say, we come back Saturday and Sunday. What I do want to look at right quick is, you see this quote right here? This is one of the ancestors, Frederick Douglass, or is it the other guy? What you say his name is, babe? They say they got a picture of him and say he Nat Turner. Fuck all that. Wait, it ain't even up there. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. I don't do all that conspiracy shit, even though I am one of the people who are who's sensitive about that word conspiracy theory or conspiracy theories, right? But when you look, what's the guy who got the same picture as Frederick Douglass and all that, and Dred Scott and all that, same picture or some shit, like, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Anyway, right here it say all this native land talk is nonsense. The native land of America, the native land of the American Negro is America. Frederick Douglass, 1894. So, with this cat who has recently somewhat tried to open up a can of whip ass on the empire of the Washita Dey-Twah. This is some shit he put up like about 5 years ago, right? And beneath it, it says, everybody knew but you, Al Moroccans, Northwest Amexem, Northwest Africa, autochthonous indigenous aborigines. How my brother Toriano say that shit? Aborigine. I can't even say it how he said. And it says, know thyself, Moors, right? But you trying to, I don't know. I just want y'all to know the reason why I come at the angle that I come at concerning various people questioning the validity of Washita Moors or the empire of the Washita Dey-Twah, ancient mound builders. You know what I mean? I can't not get at your ass because, again, when I say the way that you got on was using Washita or Great Seal and peace to the brother who tried to check me for not talking about Charles Mosley Bay, aka CM Bay, peace be upon the ancestor, on a prior bill when I was paying homage or whatnot. Guy, the bill was specifically about the Empress, peace be upon her. I have no reason to bring up Charles Mosley Bay at the time, right? We will get into that. But to show you how thorough I am and how old my ass is too, the comment that you put on the video that you was, throwing a pissy fit about me talking about omitting to speak about CM Bay, up under your comment, I put my paperback book from goddamn 2005, The Clock of Destiny, up under, you ain't have nothing to say about that. Again, when I replied to you with the copy of The Clock of Destiny, you didn't have shit. You didn't say, oh, sis, my bad. You ain't do none of that. You just came and threw a pissy fit. And you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what be on y'all mind, though. The fact that we have been on fucking phallus worship forever, and I'm talking about the fucking Empress, who y'all don't be giving no fucking love to, but you be using all her shit. You want to come tell me about a ancestor that I already fucking know about? Nobody asked you. Period. We can't even show no homage. We can't even get no homage to the women. Only woman y'all want to talk about is Dr. Frances Quest Wilson. That's it. And peace be upon the ancestor. But can we talk about some of the other sisters? Some of the other, ancestors and sisters out here currently putting in work? Or who put in work? Y'all get on my nerves with that shit. Y'all make me seem, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm on some fucking feminist shit. And it ain't about that. It's just the point that y'all don't get tired of fucking dick riding and high-fiving one another and shit. And not realizing the reason why your movement's not fucking working because it ain't no balance. You ain't got that feminine energy in there next to that brother. Y'all high-fiving and phallus fucking riding y'all ass straight into fucking hell. He, him, won't he do it ass niggas. Is no such thing as humanity without a mother. Is no such thing as a divine trinity without a mother. Allah, Yahweh, every goddamn thing. Now I'm talking about, I was talking about a mother. Then you want to come to me and talk about a father. Taking the focus off of the mother. Don't do that shit no more. That's all I'm fucking saying. Don't do that shit no more. When I'm paying homage to the Empress, don't jump on my shit talking about no goddamn, don't come over here doing that phallus worship and shit. If you can't deal with both, then you need to get the fuck on. I'm not dealing with that no balance shit. We done with that shit. Again, is various YouTubers that's out here and been out here getting money. They get money. And again, had it not been for, peace be upon her, Empress Verdiasi, they wouldn't have the fucking information. If it weren't for Taj Tariq Bey, the very toes you trying to step on are the very people that's responsible for you even having this goddamn information and this information being popular in this day and age. You talking about people who were actual activists in the case of the Elder Taj, because he's still here. How are they activists? Well, everything that's a part of the remedy that I'm telling y'all that we have to do, they was doing it. The license plate, the driver's license, whether you were doing disclaimers or acceptance for value to the birth certificates and all of that shit, they was doing this shit 40 years ago. This telling you that this slave ship story is somewhat of a fucking mythos. She the fucking godmother of that shit. That little line y'all be using about our ancestors couldn't have came here, packed in the bottom of the ship like sardines, they would have drowned in their own urine and their own feces. She's the godmother of that shit. When you start talking about Poverty Point and ancient mound builders and Olmecs and all of that shit, y'all got me fucked up. Again, and let me say this too. What's in question is the Marquis Rouge claims about owning some motherfucking land. And the Henry Turner heirs winning the land back in 1848 or 1840, whatever the fuck it was, right? In said district court, right? And then the case goes to Supreme Court and they lose. Now let's deal with it. Did not y'all know that the states used to be so they own sovereign entities? So if I won a case in the goddamn sovereign court, right? Not a sovereign court, but in the court, yeah, where the nation handle their own affairs and they're not being invaded by fucking foreigners like that. You know what I'm talking about? So some foreigners, you go get some foreigners and tell them, and you pay them to have this case heard in your court, in their court, right? Key word, you pay them. You didn't say you was indigent. You didn't say you was indigent. I'm indigent, right? You cashed them out and got that case reprimanded or held over, whatever, however you want to call that shit, in the Supreme Court. And they overturn a decision from a state that's supposed to be sovereign, right? A sovereign entity, right? Tell me how that shit makes sense. And again, it don't matter because the focus within Ouattata was on the ancient ones. And the fucking French and the Franks and even the melanated Moors who came from fucking Europe, none of them, unless they were a part of 1492 and 1493 and they were shipped from the Americas over to Europe and relabeled Negroes, if they ain't them motherfuckers, you know what I'm talking about? then them two be fucking foreigners, right? So again, she focused on the ancient ones, the mound builders, right? I didn't see her sitting up talking about my European ancestors, this and that. Again, she even went as far to say that the French fucking land grants ain't no good. They not lawful. She said that. So what more is it to talk about when again, when you go back on this same guy page 4 and 5 fucking years ago, you see this. Get me out of here. Just over here and do the again, everybody knew but you. Al Moroccans, Northwest Mexan, Northwest Africa, autochthonous, indigenous, aborigines. I can't say it like my brother, so I just said aboriginal. Know thyself Moors, right? That don't go together to me. That's like, say I taught you how to rap, right? Taught you all about the elements of hip hop, right? And you become a multi-platinum rap artist and you start doing songs dissing me. I taught you how to rap though. I taught you how to eat. I taught you how to purify water, and I taught you how to preserve food. And now you shitting on me. That's how I feel about this shit, brothers and sisters. I'm just saying. Y'all might be like, dang, okay, yeah, they was first. But what about this? This is some misinformation. I'm not in denial about that. I'm not in denial that it's some misinformation that was given out. But none of that fucking information or the sources of that fucking information didn't come directly from who y'all be pointing the finger at. Know that. So we gonna get to the sources of some of this fuck shit. And who put that information out there? I don't have a problem with it. I want the truth. I want answers. I see y'all on here talking about, you ask Moore's questions and they don't want to answer the questions, and all they tell you to do is study, which that's not a goddamn bad response. Right? It's not a bad response to tell somebody to study, but telling them what to study seems to be the issue. Or giving direction. Right? I know about the complaints. I had a lot of questions back in the day too. But like I said, a lot of my questions weren't in sync with some of y'all, the concerns that y'all be having. Like, I ain't, what I'm talking about? My concern is us getting free and regaining our sovereignty. And how are we going to go about manifesting that? Everybody is going to have some input, right, on that answer. But God damn it, while we figuring it out, it is not wise to be doing business with these people in no type of way, shape, or form. It is not wise to be connected or obligated to them in any fucking way. I don't care if you're talking about the city of this or the state of that, or I don't give a fuck. These were the traps. These are the fucking shackles. The shackles is the fact that we putting them on ourselves now by way of doing business with the enemy. You got some people that moved in your house and refuse to fucking leave. And not only do they refuse to leave, you paying all the motherfucking bills, right? And they ain't putting a dollar on shit. You paying for everything. And on top of paying for everything, you paying these criminals a tax, a tithis, tithes. What you call that shit? How foolish do we look? So to hear people talk about vote and vote for what, like that's just shit. You ain't figured that shit out long ago. Then they say, vote locally. Like I said, city ordinance is Jim Crow, is Christian black codes. So you talking locally, you talking your county and your city, fuck them too. Surely they get an annual budget to handle all of their business affairs, right? They get an annual budget. So again, why would they turn around and tax you and kidnap you and hold you for ransom and so on and so forth? And on your annual basis, when they annually getting this motherfucking budget, right? On an annual basis, they making you pay. They making you pay for the right to be able to commute to, what's the word I'm looking for? To be able to, what do you call that? Your currency. They blocking your currency and your fucking currency by way of threats of fines and kidnapping and jail time. Because for sure, if you don't register, well, they say if you don't register your car, your property with them and make that car or property liable for all of their taxes and adhesions, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's extortion. That's another word. I ain't said in a minute. But that's just what it is. That's what they came over here doing. You know? But we got some traitor ass. We have a portion of ancestors who was definitely traitors. Because again, none of my ancestors ain't signed no treaties with these bitches. Right? So as far as them having permission to do commerce and trade on the land, somebody made that happen for them and put them in a position to function as though that shit was official. We say mama is the lawgiver and daddy is the law enforcer, right? So again, if there's no clan mother signature nowhere on that shit, you get that shit out my face. And that's not me being a feminist. That's me showing y'all what the fucking problem is. That's what the fucking problem was. You forsaking your woman. You was okay with her being outside of, I'm not saying you understand, but whatever happened, you put her on the outside of the fucking holy divine fucking Trinity. Now she dead, walking around, ain't even got her own hair and shit. And all you conscious scholars, y'all want to say your woman is lost, so it's okay for y'all to go and marry and procreate with other nationalities of women, and how you've always done it all through antiquity and all of this. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. That's a cop out. So I don't care. No. Keep saying that by all means. But understand, when you hear me say that none of them treaties had any signatories who were clan mothers on that shit. So you can throw that shit out the fucking window. Again, for year maybe 17, I'm saying this to you. I don't care who like it. I don't care. Don't care if you spent $132 to get a copy of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship from the Library of Congress. The one with the red ribbon written in Arabic and I'm talking about. I don't care. Don't care. Because just imagine. No, you ain't got to imagine. Know that shit too is a part of the reason we in the predicament we in. At this point in time, based on that treaty, Who are these invaders bowing to? Because they ain't bowing to your ass. They sitting back waiting to kidnap your ass and sexually assault you and rob you and hold you for ransom. That's what they waiting on to do to you. They're not bowing to you at all. That's all I'm saying. They're not doing that bow shit. They're not even fucking with y'all like that. Period. So again, stop with the bullshit. When I say stop with the bullshit, stop shitting on the very foundation that you're standing on. And with that, I say peace.